Select KarenRene.com.
The legendary WIGO pace setter 1570. You can win as long as you keep your head to the sky. Those are positive words of affirmation for each and every one of us. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what your plans are for life, but one thing is for certain, you can win if you keep your head to the sky. The Bible says, I'll lift my eyes to the hills. From whence cometh my help? All my help cometh from the Lord. It's election season, as a matter of fact. In our area, early voting began on yesterday for the primary presidential election and all of that. And we are in election mode. A lot of men and women have been called to serve in office on various levels. And we've got a beautiful, wonderful woman of God that's in the building. Her name is Karen Rene. Karen Rene, welcome to 1570 AM WIGO.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It is so good to be in the building. I am so grateful and humbled to be here today.
So grateful and humbled to be here with you also. You know, whenever you say anything about Alabama, if you're from Atlanta and you say something about Alabama, you know, it seems like Atlanta and Alabama, we go together. And then to talk about Selma, Alabama, oh my God, and the history that city holds, the state of Alabama, the state of Georgia. We're just glad to have you here. Karen is a seasoned political leader and activist, utilizing her experience to make a difference in the state of Georgia. And joining us also this morning on the interview, our program director and general manager, Kevin Collins. How you doing, brother?
I'm well this morning, brother, man. I finally have a chance to get inside of Power Teaching Moments.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Well, you know, we're celebrating Black history. And, you know, we really don't give a lot of individuals their due when it comes to Black history, because Black history for us is not only just the month of February, but Black history is every month. And we kind of spotlight individuals, and we call it Power Teaching Moments. Now, right now, Miss Karen, she's running for Congressional Democratic for the 13th District for U.S. House of Representatives. Now, that in itself is a power teaching moment. Miss Karen, I want you to enlighten our listeners. Just kind of tell your story a little bit. I know where you're headed, but just let them know where you've come from.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. And I'm so grateful to be here. I'm originally born and raised in Selma, Alabama, and we are in the election season, and it's voting time. I was raised with parents in Selma. We kind of grew up on the edge where we had a farm. And I'm talking about everything from cows to chicken to hogs. We raised corns and collard greens and black-eyed peas and all of those things. And I'll never forget my father and my mother, they would rush home on election day and change clothes, and my dad would get in some of his best outfit, right? Mm-hmm. And they would make us all dress up as well, because they value the power of the vote. And so they will put us all in a car, and there's 6 of us, and so they will put us all in a car and they will go vote. And when they wanted us to see that how they had fought to get the right to vote, and they wanted to make sure everyone in our family understood that it was very important. And I'll never forget how he would get dressed up. My daddy, he didn't go to church, but he wanted to make sure that we were in Sunday school and church every Sunday. Like my mom took us to church, and he just worked a lot of hours. He just wanted to make sure his family was well taken care of. And so as I grew up, education was a big part of my life. I graduated from Alabama State. I went on to graduate from law school at Atlanta Law School, and then I came to go to Job Corps. I worked at Job Corps for 14 years, and that's a funny, tricky kind of story, and I'm going to try to make it really fast.
Go ahead.
What happened was I was driving past Job Corps one day over on Westlake, and I looked over and I said, Lord, I'd like to give back. And so they didn't really have any places where you could volunteer. So I said, I'll work there. And so a girlfriend of mine, I was talking to her about Job Corps one day. She says, I worked in Job Corps. I work in Job Corps. So, and I said, well, can you help me get in? You know, you get your job through people you know, really,
That's right?
So she called me. She said, they're hiring. Come on down. I said, okay, great. So I got my resume together and I went down there. And on the way down there, she says, girl, they don't like me no more. Don't use me as a reference. So I said, okay. So when I got there, I started talking to the head of security and I stayed there for a while. And he kind of got to know me and he says, man, you good people. Put me down as a reference. And I got the job. And I was only going to stay there for like 30 days or so. And I was going to do some other things. I owned my own business at one time. So I was going to go back into that. I was going through a divorce, but I really wanted to give. Man, let me tell you, it's nothing like Job Corps. It's like a lot of our kids go through adult issues early on in life, right? Not to say that they're bad kids or whatever. It's just that they are good people.
It saves
with
a
some
lot of
true structure, right?
It does.
And
I have a grandson, same way. Job Corps, excellent. Some of them kind of get off track just a little bit with the normal school situation, but this gentleman went through and graduated and doing phenomenal things today.
And in our community, I love Job Corps, and I think that that's something that Atlanta Job Corps needs to come back. You know, we closed our doors. I ended up becoming their business liaison. I work with a lot of congressional members, U.S. senators, making sure that our appropriations and funding was there, working with young folks, making sure that they would be productive. So I end up saying that I was going to be there for 30 to 60 days. I end up saying 14 years.
Wow.
That's how much I love Job Corps. And so, and there's nowhere that Job Corps students are not on or around or doing business in your communities.
That's right.
And they're at the bank counting your money. They're at the hospitals. They are everywhere you can imagine, construction. And so it's a great program. And so then after I went to Job Corps, I say I went because those kids, they taught me a lot as well. And so after Job Corps in Atlanta closed, right, and I'm praying that that's one of the visions that I really want to bring back is the Job Corps program because it is so needed in our communities. A lot of young folks are not cut out for four-year universities, right? But a trade, do you know that trades could change your whole life?
Last forever.
In your family life. So we're talking about young folks doing extremely well, being extremely productive. So the NAACP, after we closed our doors, the Atlanta NAACP came knocking. Within 2 weeks, I was hired on as their program director. You talk about some exciting times. So now it's a transition, but I'm still helping folks.
There you go.
And so I got into the Atlanta NAACP under the president, Richard Rose. And boy, we were able to move some mountains and change some things. And so after that, Richard decided that he wanted to step down, and so we decided that I accepted a job with Working Family Parties. So this is the deal. I had a group of people come to me, and they thought that, Karen, you've been an elected official for 10 years, and we've been watching you, serving your communities, making sure changes are making. And I'm telling you, I want to go to Congress, and I want to help continue to change our communities. I think that it is a downright shame when we get elected officials in office and our communities don't change. Nobody benefits, all of those things. And I'm not saying I'm not talking about anybody else, but I know that we can make a difference. You know, our prison systems, our young black men, they get more prison time than anybody else on the planet.
Big topic of discussion nowadays.
It is, and it should be.
And, you know, some individuals, and once again, I happen to know a family member firsthand, originally from the Wisconsin area. But as I tell folks, you come to Georgia, know the laws of Georgia. This young man, and I'm going to kind of put it out there, and I mean, no battery is good. But for a simple battery, this guy got 20 years. Oh, my God. Well, no, let me take that back. 15 years where he had to do 2 incarcerated and 13, the other 13, he's going to be on, I guess, probation or parole, however they call that.
So I am running for the 13th district. I hope that the people in the 13th district would embrace me the same way as my other constituents did. And I'm telling you, I don't mind serving.
ElectKarenRene.com. That's ElectKaren, RENE.com. Follow us on Facebook at Elect Karen Rene.